So we're recording. Yeah, so the themes this week are santosha, and santosha is contentment. It's my favorite one. So it's the theme of contentment, and astaya is means non-stealing. So non-stealing, and for this practice, I think we're going to think about when we can sometimes take too much from ourselves. So we can start with ourselves. So that we don't try and take so much from ourselves. That's my interpretation, but you can take what you like from it. So we're going to start with sitting today. And so if you want to sit, you're sitting in the chair. If you're sitting in the chair, it's perfect. If you are comfortable to sit with the legs crossed on the floor, you can sit, or with kneeling in thunderbolt. This is very comfortable for me. Or in your chair, it's no problem. We will start with a couple of nice deep breaths, and then we'll do some mindful movement. So slow flow yoga tonight, a little bit different. And then we'll move on to the pranayama meditation, and then the relaxation, the best bit. So once you've got yourself sitting, check that you're comfortable. Check that you are grounded. If you want to put something under your feet, you can.
Oh, here.
Yeah, so that you can genuinely rest down into the floor, and that you can feel your back nice and long and supported. And then take a moment to just for a moment squeeze the shoulders towards your ears, a little squeeze up. And then exhale, lower them back and down, and drop down the shoulders. And then we're going to keep the eyes gently closed or with a soft gaze, and take another 3 really nice long deep breaths there. So feeling the breath coming in, full deep happy breath in, contentment. And feeling the breath going out, nice and long and slow. Another 2 in your own time, taking really gentle, easy breath, slow and mindful. I'm going to get you to continue with long, deep breaths. And just for a moment, as you're doing that, starting to scan the body a little bit. So on the breath in, noticing how tall you are, the crown of your head, your scalp. And on your breath out, noticing the muscles around your eyes and your forehead, your eyebrows, your cheeks and your jaw. On the breath in, noticing the spine, so from the tail all the way up the back body, right up the back of the neck to the top of the head. And on the breath out, noticing the jaws. Maybe imagine a little kind of relaxing of the jaw. On the breath in again, awareness to the spine and the back body, really long, creating lots of space in your back. And on the breath out, releasing any tension in the shoulders and the arms down to the elbows, the hands and the fingers. And your breath in again, awareness to the spine, nice and long. And on your breath out, noticing the back of the shoulder blades, space between the shoulders, the back of the rib cage. Your breath in, noticing your spine nice and long from your tail to your crown. On your breath out, noticing the waist and the back of the hips and the tummy, the rib cage. Your breath in again, noticing the spine. So each breath in, we're feeling that lovely sense of length through the back body. And then on the breath out, noticing now the sacral area, the front of the pelvis and the groin. Soften, release any tension in the low belly. And on the breath in, again, that lovely long spine. And on the breath out, then we're moving down into the thighs, right thigh, left thigh. See if you can let go a little in the thighs. Breath in, breath out, right knee, left knee. Noticing and releasing any tension in the knees. Breath in through the spine, nice and long. Breath out down into the calves, right and left, the shins, the ankles, into the heels. Breath in, nice and tall spine, nice and tall front body as well. Breath out, noticing the feet and the toes, the right foot and the left foot, all of the toes on both feet. On your breath in, again, noticing the front and back body, all of the torso, though you're breathing in and feeling a little taller. And then on the breath out, I'm going to invite you to draw your chin down towards your chest. So you're bowing down towards your heart space. And then as you breathe in, we're going to sit up really tall again, draw the head level. And then we're going to inhale and look over to the right, far into the distance. And then come back to the center, nice flowing movement. And looking over to the left. Drawing the chest, the chin back to the center, drawing the chin to the chest, and then drawing the right ear to the right shoulder. And then gently in your own time, rocking your head down so the chin comes to the chest, and then left ear to left shoulder. And just doing one or two more of those, going as slowly as you like. Noticing how it feels. And when you have evened it out, so the next time left ear comes to left shoulder, then drawing the chin back down to the chest again, bringing the hands to the heart space so the thumbs are at the sternum, prayer position. And then we're going to inhale and stretch the hands up towards the sky with a big stretch. You can yawn if you like, and then bring them all the way down to the sides of the body. And take the right arm and lift it up and stretch it towards the ceiling, all of the right side, floating it back down to the floor. That's it. And then again, the right arm, stretching it up to the ceiling. Maybe a little taller this time, and then all the way down to the floor, to the side of your chair. And then one more time on that side, stretching all the way up. That's it, teacher. And then release that hand all the way down. And for a moment, just bring the hands onto the legs or the tummy. And just take a moment to breathe a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And notice how the right side feels and the left side feels. And then from here, we're going to take the left hand out to the side and stretch the left arm all the way up to the ceiling. And then floating it all the way down and moving in nice slowly, feeling how it feels as you move through. See, can you be content with the movement with your arm? That's it. One more on that side. And then when you release it down, this time, let's bring both hands into the center, into the heart space. And then we're going to stretch the hands out in front. And so if you want to keep it dynamic, we can keep them up at shoulder level. If it needs to be softer, bend the elbows, draw them in. And we're going to just move through the finger joints, Pamotasana, bringing in a sense of awareness and movement to each of the joints of the fingers. That's it. And then very gently circling around with the wrists one way. Noticing how that feels, hopefully good and easy and gentle. And the other way. That's it. And then from here, turning the palms of the hands to face up towards the ceiling and drawing the fingertips to the shoulders. Inhale, opening out the elbow joints. Exhale, drawing the fingertips back and keeping the elbows up high if you want a bit more dynamic, or letting the elbows come in towards the body for softer. That's this. And you can bring in that sense of contentment. Draw it back in. When the fingers come to the shoulder blades, the next time draw the elbows out to the sides and just circling the elbows nice into the shoulders. Feeling the shoulders move. Enough space there. And changing the direction whenever you want to go the other way. That's it. And then when you're ready, release the hands down. We'll do one more thing sitting. So we're going to bring the hands to prayer position again. And from here, we can keep the hands pushing in towards each other and the shoulders back and down and stay like this. Or we can take the arms out into cactus, like that goddess shape. So, see which feels better. This is generally stronger. And then we're going to be really tall through the top of the head, push through the sit bones and turn over to the right. So nice twist. I'm just thinking of Kira, if you're watching this with baby on board, keep baby in the front. And then when you're ready, drawing it back to the center and then over to the other side. And then drawing it back to the center and bringing the hands in together to the heart. Super duper. From here, we're going to move on to all fours. So we're going to take our time, come down onto all fours, onto the mat. Okay. Do you hear me okay if I'm over here? Yeah. Cool. All right. So we want to have the hands a little bit in front of the shoulders and the fingers nice and spread. That's it. And then we're going to check in. The knees are about hip distance apart with the feet out behind. Yeah. That's it. And then from here, we can close the eyes for a minute, soften the shoulders, bend the elbows a tiny bit, and lengthen through from the top of the head to the tailbone, noticing the spine. And taking a little bit of a breath that's a little bit deeper down towards the belly and the pelvic floor. In. And as you're breathing out, curl your tail underneath you and start to arch all the way up through the spine into your cat pose. When you're ready, uncurl, let the sit bones rise and draw the heart out in front. That's it. Exhale, curling the tailbone under and arching up. That's it. And go at your own pace. Inhale, you're letting the low belly stretch a little bit, the heart move forward, keeping a nice bend in the elbows. And exhale, you're curling the tailbone under, arching all the way up through each of the vertebrae of the spine. If you need to cough, cough. Don't be shy. You're right. That's it. And then it should feel nice. And I'd invite you to close your eyes and just really get into that movement. It's one of the nicest things you can do for your back. And just stretching it out and then lifting the chest and stretching out the belly. And when you've done, let's say 2 more, we're going to come down for a few breaths in child's pose or hare pose. Taking your time. And when you've got your two done, if you want to, you can keep the knees where they are, or if you prefer, you can bring them out wide. And we're going to bring the sit bones back towards the heels. So we're coming down, the bone coming towards the feet. Now, you might want to stay high if your feet are sore, if it's uncomfortable. And if that's the case, maybe you bring your hands into fists underneath your forehead. Or maybe it's very comfortable and you can put your forehead on the floor and your hands behind. And so taking a couple of nice deep breaths here in child's pose. And thinking maybe about things in your life that you feel content with. What are the things that just bring you a sense of contentment? Might be as simple as your glass of water. And then anytime you need to have a break, you can come back down into this position. But for now, we're going to quickly crawl ourselves back up onto all fours. And we're going to do a little bit of joint releasing through the feet, but from all fours. So this isn't working for you. You can sit back on the chair if you're not comfortable, or yeah, you can, yeah. Tell me if it's not working. So we're going to take the right leg and stretch it back behind. And then there's a little bit of balancing here to lift that right foot and just wiggle out the toes. Now, if that's okay and you want to, you can start to circle the ankle. There should be no pressure on the shoulders, and elbows are a little bit soft. Nice and comfortable. When you've circled it both ways, and you're still okay for that, you can stretch through the heel and then draw your heel towards your bum. So you inhale, you stretch your foot away, and you exhale, you bring your foot towards your bum, or it might be just towards the ceiling. Just gently working with the knee here. And when you've done just 2 or 3 of those, then lower that foot back down and draw it back down underneath you. So you're back onto all fours. And then again, sink back with your bum towards your heels. Taking a big breath out, release a little bit. And your own choice here of which option you take. It can be hare or child. And you can always come back here if you feel like this is what you need tonight. We have the restorative on Friday, which is always lovely. And when you're ready, we're going to lift back up onto all fours. And we're going to do the other foot. So nice and gentle again. Pushing back through the left heel. Notice how that feels. Can you get your balance there? And if it's okay, then lifting the foot and wiggling the toes. Good. And then if you still have it there, circling the ankle one way. It's a sneaky way to get a bit of core work by stretching out through the leg there, and circling it the other way. And then from there, we can gently stretch out through the leg and then bend the leg so that the heel comes back in towards us. So we're inhaling the leg long and exhaling, drawing back in. Just seeing how you get on with that. Taking a break if you need. Now, when you've done a couple of those, do nice big breath, nice long spine, a nice smile. Then drop that foot gently down and come back once again into your choice of hare pose or child's pose, your version. Just to lower everything back down and sink back in. And taking a breath or two there into your mat. And then very gently, we're going to come back up again onto all fours. So coming back onto all fours once again. So hopefully still feeling good. I'm checking the time. Oh my God, it's 5 to 7. I always will fly, the time flies. So here's the thing, if you want to, you might want to curl your toes, lift your knees and stretch back into your downward facing dog with a nice friendly downward facing dog because we're keeping it soft tonight, bent knees. Or if that's not for you today, you can always just take another moment, but this time with the toes down, to just stretch out one leg and then move over and stretch out the other leg. So play in your downward dog. That's lovely. Reckon paddle out the legs a little bit if you want to, or you can just work on that nice kind of version of balancing cat. Very good. Now I'm tempted to just do maybe 1 or 2 standing just before we go down, because then we've got a good bit of time for our pranayama and our relaxation still. So if you're in downward dog and you want to hop forward and jump up into standing, you can. Otherwise, making your way up into standing, taking your time. And that is this bit where I have to change the camera. My head is gone. So yay, we're gonna just do nice warrior one sequence, and then we will come back to sit for our pranayama. So it's very gentle today for you, Rebecca. I know you're
I'm enjoying it.
you're enjoying it. Good. That's good. On Thursday we get you working harder. But for now, enjoy. Yeah, enjoy. So we're going to start with our feet about hip width apart in our mountain pose. So you can trust me, my feet are there. I don't know what I've done with my little lens. I have it somewhere, but I don't know where. And then from here, we're going to take our hands onto our hips, and we're just going to do a little bounce there to feel the sense of spreading the toes as much as possible and getting the weight down through the feet, rooting down into the ground. And then when you've done a few of those, hopefully it feels nice, you can bend your knees a little bit deeper and then come up, stretch the hands up. Maybe you come up on the tippy toes, and then bringing the hands back down onto the hips again. We're going to step forwards with the right leg. I'm doing the left because I'm doing the mirror. So we're preparing for our warrior one pose. So just come this way to show you as well. So we're step forward. Now, if your knee starts going over your foot, step forward a bit more. The hips are moving towards the top left-hand side of your mat. And then you're going to inhale and stretch up through both arms, nice and tall. That's it, keeping the balance. That back leg is your anchor. And then from there, bit of contentment, smile. Think about non-stealing. Is there anywhere you're grasping in your life that you could let go a little bit, that you don't need to hold on so tight? Let things be. And then float the hands all the way back down onto your hips. Take a moment, lift the back heel and step forward to come out. Very good. So we're going to do the other side, but before we do, if you want to just paddle the legs a bit, just step up and down a little bit. And then taking your time again into that nice mountain pose with the toes spread, get your balance, and then stepping forward with the left leg. Is that right? That's the one we didn't do, yeah. So we're stepping nice step forward. The hips are slightly to the side. If you take a wide stance, they might be slightly to the front if your stance is smaller. Only go as far as you can balance and stay strong. So the back foot is your anchor, and then feel it nice and strong there. Go wider with your feet. Well, if you bring that foot towards the wall, not back, forward and out to the side. So you're a bit wider. Is that better? Okay, and then stretching up through the arms. Lovely. Big smile. And if you can, if it feels good, you can draw your tailbone down and your heart up. So there's a little holding in the core, and you can look up towards the sky in front of you, like you're just ready for the next thing. Gorgeous. And then from there, is there anything that you can think of that just brings you joy right now? And you can imagine it just landing in your hands. And then bringing your hands back down to your heart and onto your hips. And we will step forwards. Okay, and so options for coming out. If you are bouncy and you want to do more, you can stretch up and fold forwards and down and jump back into your plank pose or your downward dog. And then, you know, come through a little vinyasa and we'll meet back down in sitting. If you're not that bouncy, just coming slowly down, hands down to support you, one knee and then the other. So each to their own. There's a time, turn every season. So we're going to get ready for our pranayama and meditation. And for the pranayama meditation, as you know, the most important thing is to be comfortable. So I drink some water. I had a sore throat at the weekend, so I've been a bit careful. So I'm going to get my cushions because I'm going to sit on the floor tonight, but you're welcome to sit in a chair or anywhere that's comfortable, that you have a nice long spine and you feel supported. So you want to sit in a position that's easy for you. Adrian's coming in. Hi, Adrian. And I'm just going to keep recording, so if that's okay. Now with this part as well, if you ever just want to lie down, if you've had that kind of a day and you want to lie down, you can. But I know for me, if I lie down in the evening to meditate, I just fall asleep. So I can't do that. I have to do my meditation in the morning. Even if I sit and meditate very late at night, I start to fall asleep. Do you want to sit on the chair? Okay, so once you've found your comfortable position, that you're comfortable and you're happy with it, we'll begin. I'm going to come a little bit closer so I can see you. You can see. All right, so beautiful, lovely, long spine, whatever position you've chosen. And that's really important because when our spine is long, it tends to mean the front body is long as well, with lots of space to breathe. Our throat and our neck are nice and long and nicely aligned. So the head is over the heart and the heart is over the pelvis, and the spine is long and the front body is open. And we have lots of space to breathe. And we're going to start with just a natural breath, which is nothing fancy at all. But it's just the moment to close your eyes and to notice your breath in your body. And for if you've just been doing the warrior one and you've been getting up and down, you might notice the breath a little faster. You might notice your heartbeat. Or you might not, or if you've just run into class, you might notice that as well. But we're just going to take a few moments to just be aware of the breath. And I want you to start to notice the different parts of the breath and the quality of the different parts of the breath. So as you feel the breath coming in, where does it go to? Do you feel it in the front body? Do you feel it maybe in the chest? It's very common to feel that little lift in the chest as you breathe in and a little dropping away as you breathe out. Maybe as you're used to your yoga practice, you're starting to find yourself breathing deeper down to your tummy. So noticing maybe that's where you feel it. And noticing that when you stop and watch your breath, sometimes we become a little bit critical or self-conscious. We might start to think our breath should be different than it is. And And so just noticing those thoughts as well, the thoughts about the breath. Knowing that this breath is for you. This is, everybody's, we're all connected through this breath, and the breath is there for everybody. And so there's no ceiling when it comes to the breath. We can take as deep a breath as we like, and we're letting it go on the exhale, returning it back out to the universe. And that breath flows for us, through us, and in and out. And so the themes for the class, no, Adrian, you just joined, this week are Astaya, which is non-stealing, and Santosha, which is contentment. So contentment with the breath for now. We're going to start to see if we can encourage more of a belly breath. So over the next 2-3 breaths, seeing if you can feel the end of your exhale, your tummy gently draw in. And on your inhale, allowing your tummy to expand. We're starting to do some abdominal breathing. And if you want to put your hands on your tummy, please do. Or just noticing the movement of your tummy as you breathe. Noticing that as you breathe in and you feel the breath coming into your tummy and it expands, there's a moment when you get to the end of that inhale and you breathe it in as much as is comfortable for you. And then there's a pause and then the exhale where you feel the tummy release and the diaphragm lift and everything draws in. Movement until the pause at the end of the exhale. And then you feel that beginning of the next breath coming in. This kind of a dance between our breath and our consciousness. Breath coming in, breath going out. Diaphragmatic breathing is one of the most calming breaths. It's really good if you want to feel more grounded and calm. And so we're going to move from the diaphragm and start to expand our breath. So we're going to move on to the rib cage and focus on that for the next 3 or 4 breaths. So on the next exhale, when the breath leaves from the diaphragm and you come to the end of the exhale, as you breathe in, you can still breathe deep, but notice and feel breath in the rib cage. Can you feel and allow your rib cage to expand on your in-breath? Front, back, the sides, and to release and contract a little on the exhale, like an accordion. Breath in, sides of the body expanding. Breath out, this release on the bottom of the rib cage. And so just one more of those breaths to the rib cage. And then as you get to the end of the next breath out, we're going to start to try and breathe to the clavicles, to the collarbone. So if you want to put your hands on your clavicle, just on your chest, you can. I'm going to breathe in and see if we can feel the hands rise as we breathe in. So breathe into the chest and breathing out and releasing. Just breath into the upper chest. And of course, it will still go to other places as well, but the focus for just now is the upper chest. If you're sitting up and you like, you can interlace your fingers and bring them under the chin. And then breathe in and open the elbows up. See if you can bring the breath a little higher, rib cage and chest. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, lowering. And then one more, whichever way you're doing it, it's okay. Just breathing in, focusing on getting that breath right into the armpits and the collarbones, and then exhale and release the effort that you're making to get the breath up into the top of the lungs. And for a moment, just let the breath do its own thing. So returning to the natural breath, trusting the body, letting the breath breathe you. And then we're going to do 3 or 4, maybe 5 complete breaths. So we've already focused on those different parts, the base, the lungs, the diaphragmatic breathing, the rib cage breathing, and the upper chest. So you're going to try and bring it all together. So the next breath in, when you're ready, taking your time, breathing into the belly, the rib cage, and the upper chest. As you exhale in your own time, the belly, the rib cage, and the upper chest. Taking your time, we're breathing down to the base of the lungs, to the sides and the middle of the rib cage, to the tip top of the clavicles if you have any left, any space left. And then exhaling from the base of the pelvic floor and the low belly all the way up and out. Complete yogic breath. You're finding this easy and you're used to this a little bit now. We're breathing in. You'll feel it a lot in the front body. See what happens for the next round of breath. If you focus on the sides of the body, can you feel it in the sides of the body as well? The waist, sides of the rib cage, the armpits and sides of the chest. Breathing out from the tummy and all the way up and out. One more big wave of breath there. Maybe focusing on the sides and the back of the body. What happens in the back body as you breathe? When you get to the top of the next inhale, slow, slow, slow exhale from the tummy all the way up and out. And then let go of any effort that you're making and return again to the natural breath. And now we're going to offer you one more little bit of breath work here. And again, if you've had enough and you want to come and lie down, you can. If you are happy just continuing with complete breaths, you can do that as well. We're going to visualize an alternate nostril breathing. So we're going to do a little bit of just focusing in on the nostrils now. So without using your hands or anything, just noticing for a moment the temperature and texture of the air as it enters through your nostrils. And the temperature and texture of the air as it leaves through your nostrils. Feeling that area just above your lip, beneath your nostrils and into your nostrils as the air enters and as the air leaves. You might find the breath in a little cooler and the breath out a little warmer. And then from here, I want you to imagine or feel or visualize that as you breathe in, you breathe through your right nostril. And as you breathe out through your left nostril. You breathe in through your left nostril. And you breathe out through your right nostril. So we're swapping over. We're breathing in through the right nostril. Up to the eyebrow center and out and down through the left nostril. In through the left nostril up to the eyebrow center. And out and down through the right nostril. continuing at your own pace in through one nostril and out and down through the other nostril. Beautiful breath in, bringing in and balancing our feminine and masculine energies, our Ida and Pingala. And on the next time that you breathe out through your right nostril, releasing the practice, and you can imagine that you're just breathing in contentment. The breath in, drawing in a sense of contentment. The breath out, sending out a sense of contentment. When we feel content and at ease, we don't need to take anything. We can just be happy as we are. So just allowing the breath again to breathe you. And I'm going to invite you now to take your time and to take that sense of balance, and hopefully feeling focused and calm, and get ready for a little bit of relaxation. So if you do want to have, stretch after sitting for so long, do. We might give everything a little wiggle and a shake. And then moving it all over and coming down into Shavasana on your mat. So lying down with the legs hip width apart. Dun, 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 dun. Bit that everybody's waiting for you. And the feet rest out to the side. The back of the body is long, and the hands with the palms facing upwards and the fingers gently curled, checking that the shoulders are nice and relaxed onto the floor, and that we can let go of all of the body down onto the floor. So you're coming into Shavasana, and I'm going to just talk you through a really nice relaxation. So if you're comfortable to gently close your eyes, get yourself cozy, be warm enough. You can put on blankets and all that kind of thing. Gorgeous. And we're going to do I know I do it all the time, but I just think it's so effective, the rotation of consciousness. So we're going to go around the body. But I'm going to ask you before we do that tonight to do something else for a moment. So I'll tell you now. Once you've got lying down comfy and you've checked in and you feel comfy and you can wiggle and squiggle and find the comfy spot, close your eyes again and take a moment to think of contentment. What does it feel like to you? A sense of contentment. Maybe a sense of joy. And then what color comes into your mind when you think of that? And it could be more than one color, but just seeing if you can pick one color for now, a color that represents a sense of contentment or joy to you. And then I want you to imagine that as you breathe in, you're breathing in that color. You're breathing in that sense of contentment. And as you breathe out, you're breathing that sense of contentment out to all the different parts of your body and your life. Breathing in that sense of contentment, that color. Breathing out that sense of contentment, that color. And we're going to imagine that as we breathe in and we bring that color in, we're going to send it around to all the different parts of the body. So I'm going to start to talk through the different parts of the body. You bring your awareness there. And if you can, you imagine that color in that different part of the body. And if you can't, don't worry about it. Don't let it stop you enjoying your relaxation. So when you're ready, just breathing in your sense of contentment, that color, breathing out your sense of contentment. And then noticing and feeling your right hand. So for the next couple of breaths that you take, you're breathing into your right hand, that sense of contentment, and breathing out, sending it to any part of your life or all around your fingers and hands on your right, your finger and hand on your right. So your thumb, your index finger, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your little finger. Your back of your hand, the palm of your hand, your wrist, all of your right lower arm and elbow, all of your right upper arm, your right shoulder blade. Breathing in that contentment to all of the right arm, breathing out, sending it to everything relating to your right arm, all of the things, the actions that you do every day with that hand, stirring your coffee, all of the things that you do. Sense of contentment. And then bringing the awareness into the right side of the body, the chest and collarbone, the right side of the rib cage, the right side of the waist, the right hip, right thigh, the right knee, calf, ankle, heel of the right foot, sole of the right foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, baby toe, all of the toes on the right foot, all of the right leg and all of the right side body, all of the right side body. You can imagine that it's bathed in a light of that color, that sense of contentment all through the right side of your body. And then imagine or feel that your awareness and that light, that energy that you're bringing in shifts over to the left side of your body. And so bringing awareness into the left thumb, breathing in that sense of contentment, bringing to the left thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, the little finger, all of the fingers, the back of the hand, the palm of the hand, the wrist, lower arm, elbow, and upper arm, all of the left arm, all of the left shoulder, all of the left collarbone, the chest, the rib cage, side body, all the way down to the left hip and thigh, the left knee, calf, ankle, the heel of the left foot, the sole of the foot, the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and the baby toe. All of the toes on the left foot, all of the left foot, all of the left side of the body, letting go. All of the toes on the right, all of the toes on the left, all of the fingers on the right, all of the fingers on the left, both hands, both feet, both legs and both arms, the knees, elbows, hips, the pelvic floor, the low belly, the back of the hips and waist, the low back, the middle of the back, the rib cage and the shoulder blades, and the space between the shoulder blades at the back of the heart, tops of the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands and fingers, the chest as you breathe in and out, the collarbones, the neck, back of the neck, the throat, the head, the muscles around the jaw, the cheeks, the eyelids where they touch, the forehead, the right eye, the left eye, both eyes and the weight of the eyes resting in the socket, the top of the head, the very tip top of the head and all of the head, the eyebrow center, the throat, the heart center, center of the chest, the solar plexus, the navel, just below the navel, the sacral, and the base chakra at the base of the pelvic floor. My body is completely at ease. I'm practicing my yoga nidra. I invite you to take a moment into this peaceful space that you've created to invite in your own sankalpa, your own intention, your goal for your life or for your yoga practice. Inviting it in and letting it go. And I would invite you now to imagine yourself in the place that you feel most content and allow it to come to you. Might not be where you think. Could even just be a room in your house. Somewhere that you feel very content, at peace, at home. Imagine feeling like that in every room that you walk into. Imagine feeling like that in your body and at ease with the world. And as you allow yourself this time, feeling content in that space where you feel most content and at home and at ease, take time to notice that feeling, to notice the sounds relating to it, the smells, the sensations, thoughts. What does it look like to you? What does it feel like to you? What are the things that you see in your mind's eye? And I will mind the time and let you enjoy a few moments of deep, contented relaxation. And as always, when we practice at home with the Zoom, if you feel that you would like to have more time, you're more than welcome to just stay as long as you want to. But it's just coming up to 7:30. So if you do want to gently start to bring your awareness back to your own space, to the physical room that you're in, without opening your eyes, start to visualize, imagine, and feel what the room is like, colors of its walls, the floor, the four walls. Be aware of sounds that you can hear in the room and outside. Be aware once again of the time it is in this lifetime, in this week, in this day. Be nicely topped up with sense of contentment and your lovely yoga energy that you can bring it forwards in your week. But for now, gently, if you are coming back, start to breathe. Big, deeper breath in. Long breath out. Let something go on the mat. Move your fingers and toes. And in your own time, rub your hands together to create that warm space in the hands. And then gently placing it maybe on your heart or over your face, and you're gently opening your eyes. And then if you are coming back, taking a moment to roll onto your side, give yourself a hug. Thank yourself for showing up and doing your practice. And thank you very much for doing it, sharing your practice with me, doing your practice. And then if you're coming up, using the hands to support you and gently coming back up. But if you're not, that's okay. Enjoy. I always think 20 minutes is a good time. We only do 10 in the class, so stay for longer.